All right, what is good, everybody? Today was a hard day. Okay, I just got back from boxing and everything like that, but again, that's why my mindset's gonna be a little bit better now. But again, today was a rough day for me mentally. I don't know why. Okay, today just was not my day. This is a day like a year ago, 6 months ago, I would have blew all of my accounts. Didn't even lose a lot on the day. We ended up losing $117 per account. That took two trades. First trade was pretty stupid. I'll be honest with that. And I think I was upset with myself when I took that trade. And then second trade was not actually a bad trade. It was just a little bit later than I wanted to take a trade. So that's why I think I was emotional because I considered myself breaking my rules on that trade. So again, we're going to go over both trades that we ended up taking today, explain my mindset through them, and then we'll pretty much go from there. All right. So let's start into this trade recap, and hopefully you can learn a little bit. Okay. So we're going to start over here on ES because it was the first trade I took. We'll go back in replay mode. Okay. So on market open, right? We had these 15-minute fair value gap. We had a 4-hour SMT at the high. If you go back and watch the video, we had a 4-hour SMT. ES formed a high and a higher high. NASDAQ formed a high and a lower high, correct? As we can see over here on the higher time frame, right? Yeah, I was bearish coming into the day. I wanted to see price retrace into this first 15-minute fair value gap, which ended up happening, and we'll zoom in here. And then we instantly get a reaction off of it. I didn't take the trade because I don't trade off market open, okay? So price decided to continue down, and I usually know when to walk away on days like this, and today was just one of those days where I kind of like forced what I wanted the market to do, and it didn't play out my direction, okay? The second trade did, but the first trade didn't. But I'll explain what happened on the second trade. So going over the first trade, we can see we just dumped down. We had all these draws and liquidity down below. We had these 4-hour lows. We had these 4-hour lows. We had a daily fair value gap right here, which we were coming into on the first trade on NASDAQ. And then we also had over here on the 4-hour time frame, we were coming into this 4-hour bullish fair value gap. Okay, we were coming into this 4-hour bullish fair value gap. We came down, we swept out this 4-hour low. I thought we had the potential to reverse out of this area, right? Here's the 4-hour low. And we were coming into that 4-hour fair value gap. So what did I do? I scaled down to the 1-minute time frame, and I wanted to target this 15-minute fair value gap that we had above. So on the 1-minute time frame, we could see that price ends up coming down. What do I look for? We can see price ends up coming up. We end up breaking structure on the 1-minute time frame, and we get this huge reaction up out of this 4-hour bullish fair value gap. We get an inverse fair value gap to the upside. I didn't enter the trade yet. I wanted to wait for extra confirmation. We end up forming a fair value gap right here, so a 1-minute bullish fair value gap. And then I wanted to target this 15-minute fair value gap above. I was going to target the 50% level, and then I was going to also target this 5-minute high that we had above because, again, NASDAQ was the leading index to the upside, correct? So as we could see, I waited for a fair value gap fill. We end up getting a fair value gap kill. We get kill. Holy shit. Fair value gap fill. We get this bullish doji candle out of it. And we also came into equilibrium, I'm pretty sure. Went from these lows to these highs. No, we didn't. We didn't come into equilibrium. But again, we got a reaction I wanted to. We said inverse fair value gap, break structure in the 1 minute. I wanted to see if we can come in and fill this 15-minute fair value gap and continue lower. As we could see, didn't happen. Okay. Moving on, right? That was a stupid trade. I knew it was a stupid trade after I took it, but I accepted the risk and I kind of got aggravated after taking that trade. So coming into the second trade, and I'm going to move my face because we're going to go over here to the right side. Second trade, we come down, we sweep out this 4-hour draw on liquidity down below. Same thing happens over here on ES, correct? What do I see? Towards 11 a.m. macro, we end up forming a 5-minute SMT. We form a low and a higher low on NASDAQ, and we form a low and a lower low on ES. Reason why I took this trade on NASDAQ, because it was the leading index to the upside based off the SMT. What do we end up getting? We end up getting a 5-minute break of structure, 5-minute inverse fair value gap, 5-minute inverse fair value gap. Same thing over here on ES, correct? We end up forming this big-ass hourly fair value gap above. I thought we were going to trade right through all these 5-minute fair value gaps, right through these 15-minute fair value gaps, because again, higher time frame holds higher power. We have an hourly fair value gap above. We're looking like we're going to start continuing to the upside, correct? So I end up scaling down to the 1-minute time frame, looking for our retracement, thinking we were going to come into that 5-minute fair value gap that we formed. As you can see, that's marked out, but we're going to see right here why I took this trade. So as we can see, we end up coming down to this 5-minute fair value gap on ES, and we end up forming a 1-minute SMT to the upside, right? So I marked out that 1-minute SMT to the upside. We never broke structure back to the downside. We end up forming a 1-minute bearish fair value gap. We end up inversing it, and this was my entry at 11:25 a.m. Eastern time. I was risking $200 per account on this trade, and I went in 2 micro E-minis. It was a 46-point stop, and I already lost $150 per account on the day. So when I took this trade, I was already just mentally fried. Okay, missed out on my first big entry. Took a second trade that took my first trade that was stupid. We're breaking my rules because again, I usually don't trade past 11. Yeah, mentally wasn't there today. I'll be honest with that. You could see it in the video. I don't know what else to tell you. I think I was just stressed out for some reason. Maybe I didn't get a good night's sleep, but my mind was not there today, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm happy that I ended up walking away on the day, not over risking, not over trading. I followed my 2-trade rule. But again, I could have managed this trade way better and trusted in this trade, but I didn't. Okay. And this is where I could have made a lot more money, but I didn't. All right. Going back in replay mode. This bullish candle closure was my entry, right? Stop was below this low. I'm going to keep this red line and this green line. We were in this trade for like 15 minutes, right? Thought I was going to get stopped out, especially after this bearish doji. Thought I was going to get stopped out. Price ends up continuing higher, right? I end up taking a partial right around here just because I thought price was going to come back down and just stop us at break even. I ended up moving my stop loss up to break even after getting up to here. I wanted to target this high up here, and then I wanted to target this 15-minute high that we had resting above here, right? I thought we would come out and take that because we were probably going to target that hourly bearish fair value gap, which we ended up doing, correct? So me being all emotional and stuff, since we're back in profit, and then I was literally $40 away from going break even on the day, even with taking this partial. I take this partial, I put my stop loss below this low instead of even at break even, and I let the trade run, okay? Surprisingly, we didn't get stopped out there. Price ends up continuing. I was going to let this entire trade run up to these 15-minute highs because this was my second take profit originally. This was my first take profit originally. I was going to let it run up to here, 126-point trade. I really was going to let it run up there. I was just emotional. I ended up putting my stop loss below this low at break even. I really should have kept it below this low. I don't know why I did. If I was running this trade without losing that first trade and not being emotional, I would have had my stop loss below this low, right? Because we'd only be risking 28 points at that point, right? But my dumbass, I take a partial because I'm emotional. We came back to break even multiple times before stopping us out, and I was just mentally drained. What ends up happening? Price comes back down, literally wicks us out at break even. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? My first idea on the first trade was something like this. I wanted to predict that reversal, but we just kept skyrocketing down. And that first reversal I was looking for was in this daily fair value gap up here that we had. I thought we were going to respect it. We just went right through it. Went right through it. And then the second trade ends up playing out. And yeah, I took my partial down here, get stopped out at break even. And then price continues in my direction. Again, if I just kept my original stop loss, it definitely would have played out. Excuse me. But my emotions were fucked today. I'll be totally honest with you. I don't know where I was. I don't know if I was focused on my P&L. But again, as you can see, we lost 2.35K today. My first partial was $26. My first loss was $144 per account. So we cut it down to minus $117 per account on the day. Blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Not a good day. Mental was fucked. But again, I'm down 11.8K on the month now. This is probably going to be a losing month, which is okay. We have tomorrow, but again, I'm not going to over risk or anything tomorrow. If I see an opportunity, I will take a trade tomorrow, but I'm not going to over risk or do anything stupid because again, we still have $1,800 of drawdown room on our PA accounts. Yeah, we still have $1,800 of drawdown room out of a $2,500 drawdown buffer. So it's not crazy. We're down $555 per account on the month out of all 20 accounts. Could be a lot worse. Could be a lot better. But again, yeah, today was just mentally very challenging for me. I don't know why. I haven't had one of these days in a couple months. But again, this is part of trading, and this is the real reality of trading that most people don't see. This is where most people can't survive, okay? I've had a bad month. We could see it there. I show the proof of it. I don't give a shit what people got to say. But again, I'm going to keep trusting my system, right? I got to get better at some things, and I got to keep getting better over time. But we were down worse on this month, and we still have a lot of room and a lot of potential. I really should have managed that second trade better and trusted in that trade and not be emotional, but I think it's because I broke my rules, and I was 25 minutes past the time I stop trading and know when to walk away. So again, I don't want that to build bad habits. I ended up breaking my rules, but again, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I managed the trade thinking I was doing it correctly, but I was very emotional and I took a partial to be more comfortable. And I was going to let that trade actually run. I really was. You can see it in the video. I set it a little bit above break even, my stop loss, and I just said, all right, fuck it. We secured some profits. Worst that happens is we get stopped at a break even, which happened. And then we got stopped at a break even. So again, part of trading, right? This is the shit most people don't show. And I'm going to be honest and show the real reality of this shit, especially in the future when we go back and look on this and when we become a better trader and just notice that it was all worth it. And these hard days keep pushing us forward and help us learn and help us become better. And yeah, it's pretty much all we can do, and just move on to the next day, journal this, which I already did and I am right now. And I'll go back and watch this again. But my problem today is I think I was too focused on the money. I keep trying to prove things to people once in a while, even though I don't say it. Like I say, I don't. But again, it's hard to trade live in front of people. It's hard to have a losing month in front of people and keep losing multiple trades because people leave your Discord, people talk shit on social media, all kinds of shit, you know? But I know I'm a good trader. It just takes time. Being consistently profitable is fucking hard. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care about you fake gurus on social media saying, oh, Jack, if you become profitable in 6 months. Shut up! Okay? You can get a payout in 6 months. You're not going to become consistently profitable. You have 6 months of market experience and you think you're going to become consistently profitable? Like, can we actually fucking, if you've been trading for more than 3 or 4 years, like, can you actually understand how hard that actually is? But you guys just, again, people piss me off on social media. That's all I'm going to say, okay? And I got to stop focusing on that and, again, keep focusing on my journey and doing the right things and lead myself in the right direction and lead the people who believe in me in the right direction and show them the real reality of this for when we get to the position we want to be in the future and where we will be in, okay? I believe we're going to get there. It's going to take time. I feel like 2026 is the year where we're going to get there. And, yeah, it's just, again, we still have our accounts, still have plenty of drawdown. Even if we lose another trade, we still have plenty of drawdown. I have $1,800 of drawdown per account still, and each 50K account. So again, my accounts are still there. I've had my highest accounts for a couple months now. Like, again, it's like I'm stuck at that break-even phase of just getting past that fucking wall again. So yeah, we're showing the real truth, the real reality of this stuff, guys and girls. So again, if you want to go watch somebody else, totally up to you. If you want to sit here and watch the journey and support the journey, I appreciate that. I love that. But this is real trading, okay? This is what it takes to become a profitable trader, and I'm not going to give up on that ever. Never. Yeah, some days are fucking hard, okay? That's life, but we're going to keep pushing forward, all right? I'm going to shut up and stop being a freaking... All right, goodbye. Have a great day. Hopefully you learned a little bit from this. Bye.